So you rejoin us after a brief break in the telecast, and
It's all been happening.
it's all been happening. We've seen a big six just come over the commentator tent, and the new batsman who's on strike currently. Well, you've seen it for yourself. Zakir Sabir has launched that one over into the cacao field, and that takes him on to 31
And
runs.
that brings up the 103, I think. Correct? 104. I'm corrected by Vishy, our scorer. Thank you. 104 off the end of the 15th over. And this is exactly what Belgium need. There were 3 big sixes in that over.
20 runs in total off the over, Mikey.
Exactly what was needed.
And Zakir Sabir really accelerated this Belgium innings.
And they were well struck sixes. All 3 of them were huge, weren't they? And the one went straight through the curry tent and back out the other side over extra cover.
Yeah, absolutely. This is just what the Belgian team needed after an innings that took a little bit of time to get going. But now they have 4 overs remaining, and they've just taken 20 off that over. So if they carry on at this lick, they can easily expect to get past 150, and maybe even 160 or more would be possible.
And the last 6 that you didn't, no, the second to last 6, I beg your pardon, that you didn't see, came straight at the camera and straight over the top of the camera and fell 30 meters behind the boundary.
Despite the valiant efforts of the commentary team to catch it, we were actually stood
under our chairs,
one upon each other, reaching into the sky, and unfortunately it was even beyond our reach.
There's another one.
Sherry Butt was going to be dangerous.
Sherry Butt has certainly given that the beans.
4, 5, 6s in the space of 2
well, an enormous 6.
Over.
An enormous 6 over the, I would say, the long off boundary.
And all of a sudden the stress switches back onto the Luxembourg fielders, and they need to start thinking about this now.
And the cows as well, Mikey. They'll be pretty stressed with these white missiles hurtling towards them. On goes head umpire Ben Lockheed with a box of balls in his hand for the avoidance of doubt.
Of course, the cows must be upset because they're not in their corner. They've been moved from their corner. There's spectators in the cow corner, and the cows have been pushed somewhere else. I'd be very unhappy if I were a local cow, I can tell you.
And they're also not in cow corner either, Mikey. So it's all gone to pot.
Third umpire has been out and back with a spare ball. I don't think we're going to find that one. You can probably see in the distance the yellow jacketed assistants down in the corner. There's a river where those guys are. If you can see it on camera, there is actually a river beyond them where the trees are. It's very possible the ball is in the river.
Yeah, the Fitzgerald River over which the Fitzgerald Bridge passes. I've got it on good authority from the commune that they'll be renaming those 2 landmarks in the next 12 months.
That's well bowled.
Saranj pushed that one through a bit quicker. And again, he's pushed that one through quicker, gone straight to cover.
He's bowling defensive.
Good throw.
He doesn't want another 6. I understand that completely.
And tidily taken at his ankles there from wicketkeeper captain Joost Nys.
He's gone for this one. He gave it just a little bit of air. And that's on the top of the nets.
For another big 6.
This is exactly the batting that the Belgian team want to see happening.
This has turned into a difficult run of play for Luxembourg.
All of a sudden, there they were on top, and at the flip of a coin, it switched. A few good blows. And the momentum is now with Belgium, and the pressure is all on the Luxembourg fielders.
Yes, it's all changed since Captain Sherry Butt was joined at the crease by Zakir Sabir, and they've really let loose on the Luxembourg bowling. There's nowhere to hide.
Some very fine batting we're watching here. And that's the game of cricket, isn't it? One of those balls doesn't quite get middle and it's a catch and everybody says, well done. And there's a new batsman in and the game switches again.
I like the way this Belgian pair are batting there, going for the fuller length ball, and then they're quietly and cleverly chipping around the better length ball for once. This is really good
Rotating the
batting.
strike, yes. I think 106 score is 117 for 5 off 16 overs. So we have 4 overs to go. 4 overs to go, 6 fours are 2400. So they should be lying up 150 at least. And they'll want to push beyond that now if they can, batting the way they have done for the last 2 or 3 overs. Now we've got some speed back on at this end with William Cope.
I would be very surprised if they didn't go for 10 and over. I think we're looking at a score north of 160. And if these two carry on like they have been for the last few overs, it could be closer to 180.
That's a good hit, but he didn't quite middle that. That fell into space. Well, that's 2.
Fielded there out on the deep backward point boundary by number 50 from the Luxembourg team, Tony Whiteman. William Cope up to the wicket.
Well
bowls, and Zakir, I beg your pardon, Captain Sherry Butt looked to give that one the beans as well, but just inside edged it onto his pad. That was a nice ball from Cope. Now that's what he was intending to do. It's gone a long way up. Saranch was under it, couldn't.
Unfortunately, it fell into space.
That was a very tough chance. I think he may have just got his fingertips to it, but running backwards, swirling in this wind, that was far from simple.
And it's easy for us to sit here and criticise, but it's
very easy
for the men running in, actually. But he felt he had a chance for it. That's all you can do. You've got to go for it.
He called for it. He called for it. I think that was the only thing to do. The guys running in had to let him go for that. He's done that again. He's launched it. That is a fantastic catch. Brilliant catch by James Barker.
Absolutely.
Running, diving to his left. Spectacular. You will not see a better catch than that today.
Just a metre inside of the rope.
Great catch, James.
Long on. Fantastic catch. Full length. Straight into his 2 hands.
Saving an almost certain 6. Fantastic.
And the game swings again. The Belgian batsman walks off in disbelief, wondering what he had to do extra to get 6 off that ball.
Who's out? Is it the captain or?
No, captain's still in.
And that sees the end of a spectacular innings from Zakir Sabir.
Well, Mark, catches win matches, they say. We'll see.
We'll see. That certainly helped Luxembourg drag the balance a little bit back towards them because it was going badly away from them.
It certainly was. It was very much Belgium's passage of play, those few overs there. But they crossed, and it's skipper Sherry Butt on strike now.
And that brings batsman Mourid Ekrami to the crease. Now he's wearing number 15 on his back. Skipper Sherry Butt wearing 18.
He's on 44 at the moment. My colleague has just asked if anybody's got a 50 in the tournament so far. We don't think so. And that one's launched a little bit into space, but there's nobody there. And they
Run, throw comes in, it's gone to the keeper's end. It's a good throw from James Barker.
easily through for 2 in the end. There's a buzz and an energy back on the pitch now. And it's 125 for 6 at the end of the after 17 overs. 125 for 6.
That will be Pankaj bowling to skipper Sherry Butt. And as I said, we have new batsman Murid Akrami at the crease. And his arrival was brought about by the dismissal of Sakia, who had a fantastic cameo innings. 27 runs off only 11 balls, 3 sixes and 1 4. What do you think of that?
Beautiful batting. Oh, and that one's a play and a miss. Back to pace at both ends. It's not a time for slow bowling in the match at the moment.
I think he's tried to force a good length ball there, and it's just got a little bit big on him and gone over his cross batter above the edge. So he's lucky not to nick that one through to the keeper. He's got the measure of that.
Gracious, that's a big hit.
My car's
That's
just
bounced
over
off
there.
the car, which makes me think I'm glad I came on the bike today.
I didn't come on the bike, but my car is about 10 meters south of that. So I
think that one bounced on a bonnet. I'm not sure.
And that 50 is 50 for skipper Sherry Butt. Well batted, an excellent innings. He's timed it beautifully. Led this Belgium team through a difficult phase of play. He was there when Zakia went crazy, and it looks like he's intent on leading them through to the end of this innings with a good score.
Richard said he was a dangerous player, and he certainly proved that to be the case this afternoon. And this is exactly when skipper's innings is needed. And he'll be very pleased about that, leading from the front.
I've not seen a 6 go that far, Mikey. I've never seen a 6 hit a car at that end.
That's true. I've not either. That's a monstrous hit. And that's the wide. Not that one side is much wider than the other, but that's the wide side over there as well.
And the strip here is probably 8 to 10 meters further to the right, as you can see it on the camera, than it was a few years ago. So yeah, it's an even bigger 6, and I've still never seen one go over there. So
and that ball went for 4. Delightfully through extra cover. So that's 10. Always in control of that shot as well. Just eased it away, but beautifully timed. And the wind picks up our 3 flags, and they look a delight.
Tricky over for Pankaj. He's taking a bit of a beating, and he's going to go again.
Up in the air. That's cleared the rope for 6. Well, Belgium stuttered with the fall of that wicket, but the skipper is steadying them again. It's a very, very fine innings from him this afternoon.
Seems that the 12th man is getting a bit of a talking to from the square leg umpire there. I'm not sure whether he approved of the 12th man running on to give some water to the batsman.
There's another old timer here mumbling away behind me about there's only 2 overs to go. Why do we need a drink? That's very well played. He kept on top of that, played it down, and that's 4 runs to add safely to his tally for this over. Very, very well played. Very well thought out shot.
That was right out of the screws, and another 20 runs off that over takes Belgium on to 145 for 6 off 17 overs.
That must be 18.
18 overs, I beg your pardon. So we have another 2 overs left. They're on 145. What's on you?
Over 160 is looking well on course at the moment, Mark.
Well, you know, if these boys keep on at the pace they're going now, they could get up to 180.
We'll see. Luxembourg will be hoping that they don't. Vikram is back on at this end, and he went for a lot of runs in his last over.
Yeah, brave decision from Captain Mace to keep him on. I rather think, though, Mikey, it doesn't matter too much which bowler it is. I think that skipper Sherry Budd is going to get after everyone, and Vikram is certainly an experienced bowler and the type of guy you really want with the ball in his hand in this pressure situation.
Oop. Well, that was he was whatever he was planning to do with that one didn't quite work out. Runs up and actually bowls it slower than it looks, and it's just a single. Well bowled.
Well bowled, however, brings the informed skipper Sherry Butt back onto strike.
Yes, it does.
What type of fireworks will we see here? So the field changes fractionally, probably because Sherry Butt's a right-hander and Amurid's a left-hander, but the field's changed anyway. So we've got a deep cow, we've got a deep long off, we've got a deep extra cover, and a deep backward point. And it's gone straight over the fence. You can put the fielders wherever you like.
Monstro the monster hit.
The only place you want your fielders at the moment is stood in the cow field, because that's where the ball lands.
I think one of the Luxembourg players is going to shin up the rugby floodlight tower by the side of me here and field from up there.
An enormously strong shot from skipper Sherry Butt there. He's a tall man with long levers, and once he gets that bat whooshing through the ball, it goes a heck of a long way.
Well played. Well kept out. They scramble through for a single, and they're scrambling through. Oh, this could be a run out here. No, he gets back in time. No, he's given out. Take it back.
Well, it was all happening there. A lovely Yorker from Vikram that skipper Sherry Butt just managed to dig out for one. They ran one, and then there was some confusion between the batsmen, which led to a rather easy run out at the end of the new batsman, Murid Akrami. So that brings a new batsman to the crease, and once he turns around and shows us the number on his back, we'll be able to tell you who that is. Number 10. So number 10 is batsman Ashikala Said.
Well, there was never a second run there, really. He was sent back quite rightly. Anyway.
I think what might have lured them in, Mikey, is the fielder at extra cover just lost the ball for a second and it bounced on his back. And I think they must have thought he'd lost enough control to go for that second run. But it was only the new batsman who thought that there was a run. Skipper Cherry Butt was absolutely happy staying at the bowler's end.
Well, that was a nice shot to play off your first ball. 2 runs, keeps the momentum rolling along. What can Vikram do now? Slower ball, which is picked up by the new batsman and goes straight to the fielder. That's caught.
Super catch there by Scotty out on the boundary. He managed to set himself. He could see the ball coming towards him. He got his heels just in front of the boundary rope and he eventually made the catch look very, very comfortable. I'm sure it wasn't comfortable as it was swirling towards him, but that was a super catch in the end from Scott Brown.
Yes, very fun. That brings the skipper back to the strike, though. So what are we, 6 down now? 6 down, I think. Vikram comes in.
That's a nice ball, a Yorker into leg stump. He's managed to dig it out past the mid-wicket fielder. It's gone out to long on. James Barker fields it. Back comes the ball. That's the end of the over.
And he's just what he wanted. He's got his single and he's got himself down the other end.
That takes Belgium on to 156 for 8. As you say, Mikey, skipper Cherry Butt has rotated the score. So he's on strike for the last over of this Belgian innings. And now, what would you say, 164?
Who knows? Who's bowling? Is it Marcus Cope going to come the slow? It's going to be a slow over. This is a gamble.
So Marcus has bowled particularly well throughout this.
He's been a good wicket taker in the 2 matches that Luxembourg have played so far.
He has. However, Sherry Butt seems to have got the measure of him in the last couple of overs.
So this is bowling round the wicket to the right-hander.
Marcus is always working on variation, and so he'll be going around and over the wicket during the course of this over.
Oof. Well, that was a great start for Marcus.
Was that a bump ball, Mikey, or was that a drop?
Sure. I'm not sure. It's difficult to tell, isn't it?
Yeah, not much reaction, so you'd think it was a bump ball. He's tossed that one up again, and it's gone straight to extra cover.
That's 2 dots. That's just what Luxembourg want from the last over.
There's only 4 men saving the one here for Luxembourg. Obviously, everyone's out on the boundary, and that went straight to extra cover. That was a very good ball for Luxembourg.
There's that round arm ball.
Skipper Sherry
to swing away.
Butt has squirted it away for 4, and I think, he's just
beats the fielder.
Just dissected the fielder at, I would say, deep mid-wicket and deep long on.
But he's trying here, Marcus Cope is the young off-spinner. He's bowling his variations. He's not showing any fear. That's good stuff. And he's bowling against a batsman who we've seen, can completely demolish you in the blink of an eye. So
he's coming back over the wicket now.
Hasn't quite got hold of that one either.
He's inside edge that straight to mid-wicket. Another dot ball for Marcus Cope. So it doesn't look like they're going to get to 180, Mikey, which is a relief for Luxembourg. Oh, he's played a lovely shot. He stepped back, cut that one away to backward point. It's gone.
No, but it's north of 160, which is what you said earlier on. That takes it to 164, I think.
It's gone square of backward pointed.
With 1 ball to come. 8 off the over so far is very creditable in the circumstances. And the Belgian batsman will know that. He'll be a little bit miffed about that. He'll have wanted a lot more. Last ball. And he just managed to get the single. And so the final score is 165 off the 20 overs, which Luxembourg will be looking to chase down. And we'll be back with you shortly for the second innings. What's wrong with Will then?
Is the feed on?
And as the innings comes to a close, Belgium finish on 165 for 8 off the full 20 overs. Standout innings in that match was by skipper Butt, who made 81. 81 off 51, I beg your pardon, off 45 balls. That's a strike rate of 180. Massive acceleration towards the end of his innings. And interestingly enough, skipper Butt, 7 sixes and only 4 fours. 27 off 11 balls, a massive strike rate of caught by a fantastic catch out on a straight boundary by James Barker. Fortunately, of course, the Luxembourg bowlers didn't quite get off scot-free from the innings. Some fared better than others. So William Cope at the start of the over, along with Saranch, bowled 8 pretty tight overs at the start. William Cope going for just 22 and Saranch going for just 27. In the backdrop of the rest of the innings, those look like pretty good numbers indeed. Pankaj then came on, bowled 3 overs for 30, taking just the 1 wicket. Mohit Dixit, 2 overs for 11, had a great run rate of 5.5 and over. Marcus Cope, 4 overs bowling at the death, 36 for 1 off 4. And Vikram, 3 overs also bowling at the death, 35 runs for 2 wickets. So all in all, I think Belgium will be pretty happy with the way that turned out after a slow start. And they've just gone out now onto the field to do a bit of fielding practice in time for the Luxembourg innings. So we will take a short break and we'll be back with this live YouTube telecast in about 10 minutes.
Is that Squitters?
No, it says I want a little quick commentary joggle.
That would be the people listening to you.
If the excitement gets too much. It's not even my connection. Okay. Great.
I didn't crack the Sherry Butt gets the sack. Say that again? Oh, I was going to say no. They do have the best kit. They're all right. Yeah, sure. Butter? That's 2 boxes of butter. I'm sure. Jenny? Yeah. What do they like the better? Yellow one. Richard? I'm in charge of that.
talking to you about those concepts, which I got home and I get into circle trips on YouTube, they're gross. Yeah. And they're all the same. If it hadn't been for yeah. And I had to give him a slap, and I had to give him a slap. There's only one who doesn't do that, and that's George Clinton. He's the only one who sounds like George Clinton. Yeah. He's the only one who sounds like he's actually got a bit of intelligence. Yeah, yeah. In fact, I watched the documentary of Freddie. I want to look at eyes. Yeah, who's going to do a business with him? But if I'd been in a business from selling luxury or something like that, I would have done that. Because it wasn't about, and we just, you're right, we just seem very down to earth. Was his own account in the back of the van? Yeah. So, bad accent. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, no, it's, oh, okay, because we used to own a garage in Portsmouth. Chauffeur-driven car. A bit of repair. Did you ever have people come down? Yeah. You have to pay £10 a week for it. Yeah. Just too far out on the happy. Yeah. Had it been stretched or something? Yes. Just too far out. They make them out to be heroes. These men who are in the south of London, and we think that's very good. It's really, really good. Go up and say, right, we will look after your shop, man. Do it. You have to pay it. Well, we have no problem with it. We don't need so it's yeah, it's and it's the funny most people is which we got touched about, crows and how there's one people still talking about books about it, all kind of stuff. Yeah. And was it we're catching our imagination. But I've been wondering about that a lot. And I'm a member on Facebook. I'm a member of about 3 groups, which is photographs of old London. Oh, yeah, it's fascinating people. Yeah. Once every 2 or 3 weeks, yeah. Was that Ronnie and Reggie's pub? Yeah. Ryan Beggar. Nobody talked about anybody else. Nobody said Hill or Homer or the Richardsons or something like that. They were very much kind of more. But again, I think as they said with the Craven, so they were quite narcissistic, weren't they? They wanted that fame, they wanted the royalty, they wanted to be known. I saw Charlie Richardson, and he said, I did get that myself, he said, so, you're allowed to praise God, we loved it, because everybody was there. The other thing was because another woman said crows had to be arrested in some sense. It sounds like he was. Yes, I saw an interview Gary Abercrombie where he said we paired off in the film, and to look out for each other, so that if we got the word that the other one was to go, we were going to do the trick. So because they got bonkers, and we in the film were fearing for our own lives. Yeah. So we said it was going to be them. Yeah, but it's true. It's the left to it, guys. The more modern day ones as well. The guys are kind of, I've watched I've just got a book of one guy who's actually wrote a 3-book like a middle one about the most interesting with hard time. This guy was a institutional graduate from the board at home, enlisted back in the early 1990s. And he went to America and he got a job as a stockbroker. He was no good with it. I was a millionaire, but he said, of course, in that lifestyle, you get involved with drugs and have them come to us. And he became one of the biggest drug lords in California at the time. And I remember watching a documentary back there, one of these banged up abroad type documentaries. And anyway, of course, he got caught, and he then went to prison for 10 years. I think they're high class for good. And we sort of think about it. But, I was fascinated. I think a normal guy, from Manchester, who was Savannah, he was having someone's life But again, you read those books. The trade is our story. Yeah. My Frank Fraser. Apparently, I went to the phone lines, but everyone else says, I'm not quite sure what. 30 years in. Well, I just didn't really tell you this. I have a very good friend over here, she's now with the UK. And her husband now was assistant governor at Maidstone Town. And he knew the Crays, he knew Frankie Crays, and he said, I knew those. And he said, actually, happy boys are crashers. He said, they were no trouble at all. He said, but Frankie Fraser used to wrestle with us. So this is relevant. And he came to me, and he said, I want to go to solitary confinement. So Les said, so I said to him, no. He said, he looked at me, looked forward, and he said, we're not enemies, but we're friends. If you don't let me go to solitary confinement, I'll bring this ring down on you. And Les said, and he could, because he was totally done with it. And so he said, I looked at him and said, okay, Frankie, let's go. Took him to solitary confinement. That's what he wanted. And I said, he was a small guy, Frankie. It's not like, you see some of these other hard like an apple on the hero, they're big guys, that's right. No, but apparently he was just basically you would have to kill him to stop him. And he was not afraid of doing anything. Yeah. God knows what their charges are. Yep. No, but we've got our tickets. Yeah. We had options. We could either have the tickets for this year, which wouldn't happen, get a refund, or have the same tickets next time. Do you know Andrew Stewart? Anyway, so, well, he lives in Sheffield. So I'd said to him last year, if you don't buy tickets tomorrow, they're on sale. Yeah. So we did. So we'll go next year, yeah. And the only one I was dead to. I love watching him because he's just the best. I like watching him. He's the best. Oh no, must be very awkward to live there. But that's what makes him. That's what we were talking about. All these sportsmen, they're all so driven. They're all a bit bonkers, like Boy Cup. They could be some good ones. You watch it on the telly? I do. I was in Denmark when it was final.
Defend their total of 164. So Luxembourg are requiring 165 to win in their 20 overs. The normal opening bowling batting partnership for Luxembourg with James Barker taking strike and Scott Brown at the non-strikers end. So we just need to wait to find out who the opening bowler is going to be for Belgium. And as soon as we know, we'll let you know. Ready to go now, and we've got Murad Ekrami, who's going to be opening the bowling for Belgium. And it looks like he's a spinner, so fairly attacking field as the second innings gets underway. And left arm over. Fortunately, in my commentary box, or our commentary box, we've got Mike West, who is also a left arm orthodox bowler, so can hopefully give us some insight as to what's going on.
Yeah, it's just swinging away slightly as well. There's the first one on the board.
So 164. It's a good score. I mean, we thought yesterday that par was probably going to be around the 170 mark. So you could argue perhaps just slightly under par, but not far away. And the Luxembourg batsmen have got their work cut out to chase this one down. Belgium's got a strong bowling attack. We know that. And they're going to have to ensure they're scoring at every given opportunity.
And that's well bowled. Very tight so far. The wind is picking up a little bit here.
Mike, when you're bowling spin, do you take the wind into consideration?
Yep. And he's just got that one over the top of the infield. Yeah, Richard, because depends, you can be bowling into the wind or you can be bowling with the wind, but particularly if the wind is blowing across the pitch, with a force like we've got here, if it's blowing across the pitch, it can really make the ball swing in. It's easier to, I always found it easier to bowl into the wind, and then you can hold the ball into the wind, and it makes it harder for the batsman. It can be difficult to, you think you've bowled a good line, and the ball swinging away down leg stump. Bit like my golf game.
Bit like everybody's golf game. Well, certainly everyone in the commentary box anyway. And that was neatly defended by James Barker. So a cautious start from Luxembourg, but some good bowling from the opening bowler, Murad Ekrami from Belgium. That was a very tidy first over.
Yes, that was a good start.
Just two runs from the first over. And Murad Ekrami will be very happy with that, as will his skipper, Sherry, who fantastic hitting in the first innings. He really brought the Pierre Werner cricket ground alive with some big sixes. And
Luxembourg were very much in the driving seat when he started his attack. They completely turned the momentum of the game. Now giving themselves a score to defend, something to bowl at.
So coming in from the pavilion end, we have the Belgian opening fast bowler, Ashi Killen Saeed, who will be starting. And he's got good pace. And I'm sure Scott Brown, who's opening the batting for Luxembourg, will be looking to utilize that. And they've actually got a fine leg, and they're now bringing third man up. So they only have one person out, which is the fine leg. Good opening ball there from Reed.
Good bounce. He's a tall man, isn't he? Gets a bit of height on the ball.
And that was a big hoik there from Scott Brown. It was short, and it's gone flying up in the air, and it's well taken. The keeper was sprinting towards square leg to try and take that catch, but
it was a risky shot, and it's just the start that Belgium wanted. Just the start that Luxembourg didn't want.
And so
Pius moves to the crease. Belgium side will be buoyed by that early wicket.
absolutely. So pressure now on Joost Mees, who is going to have to provide the captain's innings that Sherry Butt provided for Belgium. So a lot resting on his shoulders. As James Barker now, they did cross. And James Barker now will be taking strike for the first time against Saeed. clipped away there from Barker, just for a single down to fine leg. And that brings skipper Joost Mees on strike. So Joost now has got a big task for the captain's innings. That his opposite number for Belgium, Sherry Butt, performed so brilliantly in the first innings. Really dug Belgium out of a hole and put them in a very commanding position with a swashbuckling 82. And immediately Saeed just showing his class. That was a good line, good length. And there's a bit of a waft there from the Luxembourg skipper, Joost Mees.
This has been a very disciplined start from these two Belgian bowlers, Richard?
It has. I think Belgium will be happy. They've taken the early wicket as well. The danger man, Scott Brown, can score quickly. But Joost has just absolutely melted that backward point. He let the ball just come through him and opened the face of the bat and pushed it through to backward point for 4 runs. Great start there for Joost. And that, I'm sure, will give him a lot of confidence now to carry on and lead the fight back for Luxembourg. A change of team for Luxembourg as well. They've got a strong batting lineup here. That's going down.
A miss.
So we're expecting Vikram Vij to come in next, followed by Saransh Kulshretha. But after that, there's various batsmen that could be coming in. Reinhard Heinz, we know, is a dangerous batsman as well. Can hit the ball very hard, hit big sixes. So Luxembourg have certainly got batsmen to come. And they are, after the second over, they are 7 runs for the 1 wicket down. And it looks like we might have another bowling change. And we have. We've got Khalid Ahmadi, who is coming in now, who looks also to be a seamer. So an early change, and again, third man and fine leg have both now dropped back to the boundary. So those are the 2 fielders that are out of the circle. Of course, in the power play in the first 6 overs, you're only allowed 2 men outside the circle. And that was dropped in short, but a good single there from the Luxembourg batsman. Joost Mees calling James Barker through. And the fitness of the Luxembourg players has certainly been very good in allowing for these quick singles to happen. As Joost Mees now starts his innings against Ahmadi. Good pace, and Joost just letting that one go through. I think the length probably wasn't quite there for him to hit. And being so early on in the innings, allowing the odd one just to go through, just to get his eye in, is probably a sensible decision. So a bit of a slingy action there from Ahmadi, but good pace on leg stump. And there was a bit of an inside edge there from Joost Mees, not exactly where he intended it to go. But he found the gap brilliantly just behind square leg, and it flew away for 4 runs. And with the sun really beating down now here in Luxembourg, the outfield is now getting quicker and quicker and quicker. And that was well cut there by Mees, down to third man. It should just be the single. And it is. So that just takes the score up to 13. 13 for 1. And we're in the middle of the third over. If this was a test match, that would have been good cricket. But it was a good ball. Tapped back to the bowler, showing the maker's name. But really, Luxembourg need to be scoring every ball, even if it's just for the one, rotating the strike, which is always important with a left-right partnership as well. And that was obviously, must have been going down the leg, because sight was no issue at all. It scooted along the ground and surprised Barker, but we're guessing from our position here that was just going down the leg.
Side, that's what it looked like to me, Rich. Certainly was no problem with height, as you say.
Luxembourg are 14 for 1, chasing 105 to win. So still a way to go, but James Barker will anchor this innings, and Joost Mees, I'm sure, will take control, as every captain does, and look to score runs quickly and get them close to this target. His signature shot there, up and over extra cover, fantastically hit. It was right in the slot for him to do that, and that is where he is very strong.
Yeah, fetch that one from Belgium, straight out the screws from Captain Joost. You'll feel good about that.
Joost really in form yesterday evening against Czech Republic. He was out in unfortunate circumstances in the game this morning against them, run out, but he's looking like his form is continuing. And I've crossed my fingers, because we don't want to jinx anybody.
Let's see what happens on this ball then, Rich. And a nice response there from Saeed. Dug one in, Yorker length, and Captain Joost Mees did well to dig it out. Almost chipped it back for a little return to the bowler, but it didn't quite get there. And that last fall from Joost will welcome relief to Luxembourg. Their asking rate started off at 8.25. If it's a bit early to be worrying about that now, but they'll certainly not want to let it get too far behind.
Again, good cricket from Luxembourg and from the Luxembourg captain, Joost Mees, just rotating the strike when the ball's not there for a boundary, just ensuring gets bat on ball, running it down to third man, and bringing the left-hander back on strike, which is never easy for the bowler, having to adjust his line.
James Barker, a very accomplished left-handed opening batsman, and what we tend to find with James, if he stays in, he gets runs. He starts slowly, but he's got tremendous ability to accumulate runs and to move the strike around. And when he gets going at the end, he can also hit a strong shot out of the ground. So let's see how he goes in this innings.
And that was aggressive bowling there from Saeed. It was a nasty, vicious bouncer that hit James Barker in the grill. And very sportingly, fast bowler side and James Barker, just a little fist punch there. Mutual respect for opening bowler and opening batsman.
Yeah, it's a good idea there of skipper Joost Mees to call him through. Sometimes when you get struck on the helmet, you can get a bit shell-shocked, but Joost barked him through for a run. That's good. It rotated the strike, puts James back on strike here at the start of the fifth over. And,
so it's a 21 for 1 off 4 overs.
so this sixth over, we see Khalid Ahmadi coming in from the Fitzgerald Bridge end. He's wearing number 21 on his back, if you can see that. It's a good ball. Struck out to mid-wicket, to mid-on. Return throw just shy of the stumps. It looks like James was comfortably in, so no danger there. But we've seen from these first half of the dozen overs that the Belgium team were very sharp and they're really looking for run-outs. They're keen on the quick throws, and I think the Luxembourg team will have to pay attention to that.
Swing and a miss there from the Luxembourg captain, Joost Mees. He was looking again for that shot over extra cover, his signature shot. And normally anything in that kind of region, he certainly will look to attack. The two fielders currently out at deep mid-wicket and third man. We're still in the power play. And he's just guided that one down to third man. And a brilliant running there from Luxembourg, and Joost Mees in particular just capitalized on the misfield from Saeed, who is just down at third man.
Only the slightest misfield was enough to get those, give the Luxembourg team enough runs, enough time to come through for the second run. That was good running, good calling from Captain Joost Mees. Leads him back onto strike.
It's a beautiful afternoon down here at the Pierre Werner Cricket Ground, and we have to thank the Valfrdange commune for everything they do for cricket in Luxembourg, in particular the Optimus Cricket Club, whose ground it has, or it is. And big appreciation and thanks to the Valfrdange commune.
Ministry of Sport, who work so hard to help.
And Joost Mees there, a big swing, and it was a loud nick, but only a small deviation through to the keeper, and the Luxembourg skipper has to depart. He was looking in good touch there, but he's had to go, and unfortunately, the keeper took a fairly easy catch in the end. So that brings in Vikram Vij to the crease. So 24 for 2 now, Luxembourg, in reply to Belgium, who scored 164 in their first innings. Lead continuing from the pavilion end. And once again, he's just gone to a bit of a rhythm now, bowling a very good line and length. And all Barker could do was just punch that back down the ground for no run. Barker, I think, just feeling the pressure of some quick wickets, especially those of Mays, the skipper, and he was looking to try and get on with it and just push things along because the run rate is creeping up. And unfortunately, he succumbed to a very good delivery from Saeed and had his middle stump cartwheeling back.
Certainly didn't pick the right ball to go after. That was a good Yorker length ball on middle stump, and he's paid the price.
So that brings Tony Whiteman to the crease. So Luxembourg in a little bit of trouble, 20 for 3 now, and we're still not outside the power play overs. So time isn't necessarily an issue, but wickets now starting to be. We have Tony Whiteman and Vikram Vij at the crease, who will be looking to build a fight back now for Luxembourg. So it's a good opening ball there from Saeed to Whiteman. Again, he's bowling with good pace. He's got a good line and length. And Whiteman just in the end just had to see that go past him. And again, another good ball, which Whiteman's leaving. He's got a difficult task now because he's got to try and balance staying in with the run rate that is inevitably slowly creeping up with these dot balls and wickets that are happening. So Belgium very much on top. You can see the buzz and the energy in the field. They feel they're on top and they'll want to make further inroads into this Luxembourg batting lineup.
So that was a full bunger then to Tony outside off stump. He's creamed that through extra cover. All got what it deserved. Side's not going to be happy with that ball, but he's been bowling really well up until now, and Tony took advantage of that unusual stray ball on off stump.
Again, you can see the confidence of the Belgian team. There's only one person outside the room. Oh, sorry, apologies. There are two. Deep square leg and a third man are the two players outside the ring. A side comes in again and bowls a bouncer, and Whiteman ducks that. And that has now been given a wide. And he's just signaling to say that is the one bouncer that's allowed over head height.
Bit of discussion going on in the field there. Looks like Tony was having a chat.
There might have been a couple of jokes exchanged or recipes for dinner.
Discussion about the weather with skipper Cherry Butt.
It's a good comeback there from Saeed. Straight back on his length.
Tony Whiteman vigilant in defence. So that takes the Luxembourg team on to 29 for 3. So at the end of the 6th over, that means the end of the power play restrictions. So be limited anymore to just the 2 players outside the circle. You were right, Richie. There's a lot of buzz out there in the field from the Belgians. You can tell they feel that they're on top. There's a spring in their step. There's a lot of noise coming from the fielders, and I think they know that they're in a good position here.
So we have a change of bowling from your commentator's name's end, Fitzgerald Bridge end. And Sabir is now coming on to join the attack. And I think this is Vikram Vish's first ball he'll be facing. And big build-up that ended in nothing as the bowler obviously lost his footing. And that was short, but just pushed through to point. And as Mark rightly said, the power play is now over. So there's a few more fielders now outside of the ring. So we've got a deep cover, a deep mid-off, deep mid-on, and a deep mid-wicket. The 4 players outside of the ring. So you would... Oh, sorry, and a third man. We have the 5th player as well, and a third man, who is now being called into action as Vikram has punched that down through the third man area, and they come through for just the single. So Luxembourg now 30. But if we remember in the first inning from the Belgians, they also got off to a slow start. And it was only really due to Captain Cherry Butt, who got them up to a very respectable total of 164. Can Luxembourg do the same? And I think that was probably a bit too close to be cutting. And they went straight through to the keeper. Dot ball.
Tony Whiteman's dug that one nicely out. Firm push out to extra cover. Bit of a misfield from the fielder out there, from number 7, Namish Mehta. And the misfield just gave the Luxembourg batsman that sniff. They came through for the end, and there was a good return to throw in, and looks like Vikram was just in as the return throw arrived.
I think it was a good shot, but certainly I've given. I think backward point traditionally does stand a bit further back because trying to stop a cut shot like that is difficult. So they tend to give themselves a bit more room. But he was very close. And followed up with a wide. So this new bowler, Saber, is just struggling a little bit with his line length, which is unusual for the Belgian bowlers so far. He's just short and wide. See if he can find his rhythm and get things back on track. And once again, he's just feeding Whiteman short and wide, and Whiteman happy to oblige, cutting it down through backward point.
That was a lovely shot from Tony. Got on top of it into the vacant backward point area. We do have a backward point in, but he's there. He's there on the catch. We've also got a deep cover and a third man, and frankly, neither of them moved as that ball towards the boundary.
The score now is 41 for 3 off 7. And it was a good over for Luxembourg, with Whiteman now starting to find his rhythm. And the Belgian bowlers just starting to look a bit lackadaisical.
Luxembourg will be happy with that over. As I said, their initial asking rate was 8.25 runs per over, and with that over, they've managed to bump the existing rate up to about 6. So they're still behind the run rate, but they'll probably feel a bit more comfortable after that over.
Bowling change. We've got another left arm bowler. It's vice captain Namesh Mehta, who's going to be joining the party for Belgium. And it's a very interesting field here. Very interesting. There's a 45 on the leg side, a deep square leg, deep mid wicket, and a deep mid on, but nobody else on the one on the leg side. And he's bowled that obviously very wide of off stump, where he does have a bit of cover. There's a deep cover, deep mid off, a point, a normal cover, and a man that's a short third man. But very interesting leg side field. It'll be interesting to see how he bowls and what the tactics are going to be for this.
How the batsmen try to play him. Obviously, they're inviting them to take the one out onto the leg side. That'll mean swiping across his across the line and possibly playing against the spin as well.
The one, if they can get their gaps right, looking for 2. But you're right, it would be fraught with danger.
I like this captaincy, Richard. I like it when you drop the gauntlet and invite the batsman to go for a shot that he probably doesn't want to play, but where the runs are available. I think that's really attacking captaincy.
Well, as well, he's in a very advantaged position at the moment, Cherry Butt.
You got 164 on the board. Fair point, Rich. So again, with left-right partnership with Tony Whiteman and Vic Van Vliet, this is not making it easy for the fielding team. And let's see how Vice Captain Namesh Mehta handles that. So up to bowl. It's a lovely line. He's tried. Vikram tried to work it away on the leg side, but he fielded his own bowling there. Mehta. And that was a dot ball. He's probably hit that a bit too hard. It's gone straight to long on. He fields it cleanly, throws it back in, and that was only 1 run. There probably are 2 there, Richard, aren't there? It's a big old field, but you'll have to hit it into the gaps, and unfortunately that one almost straight at the long on fielder.
Yeah, it needs to be needs to have some clever batting here, just by dabbing it into the leg and in the right areas and scampering too. But very easy to say things like that sat in the commentary box. A lot more difficult when you're out there batting. And Whiteman cuts aggressively for 4, just through point.
Just evaded the diving arm of the fielder, whose number we can't quite see, but out there on the sweeping on the cover boundary.
And that's the end of, and Luxembourg now are 48 for 3.
unfortunately, we see Vikram Vij haul out there the deep square leg boundary. He's furious with himself. He's incandescent with rage. He trudges his way back to the boundary. Which brings Saranch up to the crease. Striding out, doesn't seem to be wearing a helmet. That's interesting. Tony Whiteman also calling for a cap. They feel that this dual spin attack from the Belgian team is doesn't warrant a helmet. And yes, as I say, that brings Saranch into the crease. The crease at 48-4. Straight into the game. He's a dab that I think is the best way to put it, down to third man. Fine chase from the opening bowler side, and that brings 50 up to the Luxembourg team.
So, with the 50 now coming from Luxembourg, I'm sat here with Luxembourg skipper Joost Mees to ask him a few questions, get his point of view as to what's happening as Saranch just pushes that into mid-wicket. So, Joost, obviously not the start that you wanted. How's the bowling out there?
Well, these guys bowl good lines, they bowl good lengths, so it's difficult to get them away. They keep it tight, so you have to create something, and that doesn't always work. I mean, Tony's in good nick, so that looks good. I think we just need to be a little bit more patient, and there will be a bad ball which we can hopefully disperse to the boundary.
And obviously there's some changes for this team, so it's probably just lengthened the Luxembourg batting line up a bit. So still relatively confident about this?
Sorry, I missed the question.
Just saying that the team has changed a bit for this game, which has probably extended the batting lineup with people like Reinhard, Hines, etc. to come. So I'm guessing Luxembourg are still relatively confident they can win this game.
No, absolutely. I mean, we have a very long batting side. I think we bat up to 10, 11. And I think, we just need to take it deep. And we saw the first innings what's possible if you take it deep and you got a couple of big hitters in the end. So I think, as long as we keep our wickets in check, we're in this game.
Fantastic. Best of luck to Luxembourg. And let's see how this game continues.
Great to hear from the Luxembourg captain there, Joost Mees. That brings us to the end of the ninth. Luxembourg have advanced, if advance is the word, to 52 for 4. And they'll look to consolidate here. They'll have to stop losing wickets. Once again, a case of this curse. Didn't look very much like consolidation to me. Tony's giving it the kitchen sink. He's fortunate it was outside off stump, so it's gone through a bit of a misfield from the keeper. And they come through for a single. Saranch at the crease. Vice captain Mehta seems to have evaded everybody that ball. They've come through for 2. This is good strike rotation from Luxembourg. They've taken 3 runs off the first 2 balls. That's all they really need to do at this stage. They're chasing now a 9 and over. And Nothing too crazy is needed. They just need to stick at it and not lose wickets. A full bunger on leg stump. He's chipped that out to mid wicket. Long on comes running in. Good field, good throw, good cricket. A single. Bit short. Tony's swished it off his legs. Backward square comes in, fields it. 1 run. Umpires signal to each other. 2 balls left in this 10th over. Called a no ball by the square leg umpire. And are we going to get a free hit? That seems to be above the shoulder, and umpire has signaled a free hit. So let's see what Saranch can do with this. He has given it everything. Got a big, thick outside edge. It's gone down to cover backward point. Long chase for the fieldsman and fielded for 2 runs. Last ball of the over from Mehta. Another full-length ball, very nicely driven through extra cover. There's a fielder out there swooping the boundary who collects nicely. Good throw in and very nearly felled Tony Whiteman in the process. Tony tumbled to the ground like a mighty oak tree and just managed to avoid that incoming return ball.
So at the end of that over, it's 61 for 4 off 10. So potentially very well poised if Luxembourg don't lose any more wickets. They've got a good opportunity. To Belgium, you would say at the moment, marker on top.
Richards, and so we just asked Vicky, the resident statistician, and he tells us that's an average of just over 6 and over so far. And with 100 runs to go, that's that means they need a little bit over 10 runs and over. So I think that's it's going to be a tall order because I don't really see the Luxembourg team batting that fluently at the moment. The batsmen in don't seem to be in that good nick. Tony was batting okay to start, but seems to have slowed down a little bit. So I think we can still say that Belgium are in a strong position.
Opportunity for you to get your pads on, isn't it, here, Mark? You know, you could.
Well, I've got them in the car, Rich, actually, and if required. Expensive overthrows. The ball's wheeling its way off to the and just almost intercepted there over at the extra cover boundary, but that's 5 runs, including 4 overthrows.
We think that's 5 runs, but the umpire signal 4. but we think it's 5.
So we're just asking for clarification from the scorers, how many that was.
The scorers have asked the third umpire. The third umpire is asking the man in the middle. And it's been confirmed 5 runs. So 5 runs to Saranch.
Good calling from Saranch. Tony looked keen to take the second run, but he would have been sending Saranch to the danger end, and after what was a very good throw, almost certain run out. A lot of chat here from the Belgian team. Saranch isn't especially keen to take his guard whilst they're jabbering away in the field, so he's stepped away, come back. Oh, that's on stump, gone straight through backwards to square legs field, legs for 4 runs. Like there was a bit of shape on that ball, just moving away from the off stump. Well left in the end by Saranch.
So Luxembourg are 72 for 4 off 11. And apologies, my colleague Mark Fitzgerald, a few technical issues with his microphone. Thank you very much to Atif Kamal for pointing that out. It's unusual that Mark is having a problem with sound and not being loud enough. And that is a good shot from Tony. But excellent fielding there from the Belgian. Well fielded Zabert. Stopped a certain boundary. And that was 2 runs there to Luxembourg. But powerful hitting from Whiteman, who is a man on a mission. And so he needs to be if Luxembourg's going to have a chance.
Causing 2 minds on that one. It looks like he wanted to dance down, smack it over the side, but it was just a little bit too short for that. Eventually, floated in, tried the stab, but it came to nothing. Tony's tremendously strong on the offside. Anything that's but he hits that very well indeed.
The Belgian fielding side now, the volume has really started to increase. I think they want to break this partnership up. They realise this could be a threat. And Saranch
Out into the leg side, neither of the batsmen look interested in too.
Two left in the over, and mid-off has been put back on the boundary. So again, the boundary ride is a deep mid-off, deep cover, deep mid-on, deep square leg, and deep mid-wickets. As he comes in now to bowl to Whiteman, who hits that through the covers. And that could be, it's brilliantly fielded again from deep mid-off, who scampered round and picked it up beautifully. And the throw was sharp and into the keeper. Excellent fielding from the Belgian side. They've really set a very good standard for themselves. And they're putting Luxembourg under pressure.
Sam's just cut that out to the sweep over on cover boundary. Well fielded, the ball comes in. 1 run, and that's the end of the over.
Luxembourg team at to 78 for 12 overs.
So this could really be a fascinating finish. It's looks like we've got to change of bowler now. So we're just waiting to see who the new bowler is as he's coming. Zabir is now bowling again, and straight onto that very good line and length, and nothing Saranch could do other than just knock it into the covers for a dot ball.
And Mark has handed one of the microphones back to me. Glad to be with you again.
He is Mike West.
Well, I knew that. Oh no, that must have just come off an item of clothing or the top of his thigh guard. Batted very, very well. A spell with salmon, but show that.
Luxembourg batsman now just starting to feel the pressure of the run rate. Saranch running down and giving a big heave-ho to no avail. But that's always the advantage of batting first in these kind of situations. You've got runs on the board. You can really start to pile up the pressure now on the team that's chasing.
Well, of course, this is a situation that Luxembourg found themselves in. And the Belgian batsman found a way to completely wrest the impetus of that innings from them. So Luxembourg will be looking for the same kind of thing to happen for them now. It needs somebody to go for it and take this bowling by the scruff of the neck. Can it happen?
Whiteman now is facing. There'll be a big bird on his shoulders to lead the charge as he smashes that down through towards deep mid-off, just for the single. And you have to think that Luxembourg now need more than just singles if they're going to have any chance of winning this.
Of sixes happened in the Belgian innings.
13th over, Luxembourg at 80 for 4. So they're chasing 164. So they've got 7 overs to double their score. So
10 and over.
You feel it slowly slipping away from Luxembourg, and Belgium are just putting more and more weight on their foot of the throat of Luxembourg to really just kill it off here. And of course, that will then provide them a fantastic platform for the next game when Belgium take on the Czech Republic in the final game today. That's still to come. 4 o'clock. Commentators will be my good self, Mike West, Mark Fitzgerald, and Timothy Andrews.
He played through extra cover.
Whiteman needing to relieve some pressure here and used his feet very well to come down and pick the gap in between deep cover and deep mid-off, and middled it very nicely. Repeat of that, exactly the same again, only this time along the ground, and once again hit very hard from Whiteman.
Just about exactly the same spot as well, I think.
Absolutely.
Nicely played. Just what Luxembourg need as well. That's 8 runs from 2 balls. We need a big over or two.
Or 7. Luxembourg, I think, needs 7 good overs
7
here
good overs,
to,
absolutely.
if they're to win. And Belgium requires 7 tight overs, which they've produced in the first half of this game so far.
That's an excellent catch.
And unfortunately, Whiteman has holed out to deep mid-off. The heroics have ended as he was looking to try and increase the run rate and get Luxembourg back into some kind of position to waltz home. But with that wicket, Reinhard Heinz is now coming to the middle. Reinhard is going to make his debut in this tournament.
Got himself underneath that ball. Never looked like dropping it from the moment the ball left the bat. Very, very fine standard of fielding. In fact, it's been a very fine standard of fielding from the Belgian team. Their return throws have been right on the spot.
So Tony scored 36 off just 22 balls, so a very good cameo mid-order innings. But Luxembourg really needs somebody to go on, just as the Belgian skipper did, Sherry Butt, to score a big innings. But that was a full toss to Saranch, who could only just clip it through to square leg, and he's cross with himself. That was an opportunity for a boundary, as we still have 2 more balls left to go for this innings, and that brings Reinhard Heinz to the crease. Reinhard can hit the ball. He's played some brilliant innings in club cricket over the past few years, but he now needs to prove himself at international level, and he has a fantastic opportunity here to do exactly that. Is just adjusting his gloves. Can he be the talisman that Luxembourg are looking for? Talking of Talisman Insurance in Brokers, very proud sponsor of this tournament, as Reinhard looks to just try and dab it down to third man, but misses. And you do think he just needs to be trying to get bat on ball at this stage.
That's a very tidy over completed for Belgium. And the score is 89 for 5.
Firing 77 off just 36 balls, so 6 overs to go. And Luxembourg requires 77.
More than 2 a ball, yes.
So this now is looking increasingly uphill for Luxembourg and increasingly good for Belgium.
So a run a ball is not enough now. Luxembourg have to go for it. There's no prizes for coming second in these games.
Saranch smashing that out towards deep cow, but again, just for the single. It's with the field spread like this now, you've got to be fairly accurate in your shot selection to try and get it into some kind of gap to, if you're not going to get a boundary, to at least try and get 2 runs. Because as my esteemed colleague has just informed you all, 1 run a ball is not going to be enough.
No, 2 isn't actually going to be quite enough, is it? And the field is very well spread. It's going to be difficult.
Again, excellent display of fielding there from the Belgian fielders. That was number 9, so that was brilliant there from Hossen, who diving to his right to cut that off. And again, another dot ball adding up for Luxembourg. And another dot ball again. This is not what Luxembourg want, but again, the enthusiasm in the field from Belgium really is starting to show. They really feel they're on top. They're suffocating Luxembourg for runs, and you have to think this is now a bit of a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, it's good tight bowling from Saber. And another one that doesn't get away. This is very good bowling, very good fielding by the Belgian team.
It's a very warm afternoon here in Luxembourg, but we know a fellow colleague, Wayne Codd, who's currently listening from Madeira. I'm sure it's hotter there.
And
Big,
that's
thick edge there for
edge.
4 runs.
going to run for 4.
Reinhard Heinz is off the mark.
Unintended, but Luxembourg will take it at this stage.
So we say a very good afternoon to Wayne Codd and family, who are listening from Madeira. And no swimming pools or jacuzzis here, unfortunately, Mr. Codd. Well, that was brilliant bowling there from Sabir. That was a slower ball. It completely did Reinhardt all ends up, and just I think it was a bit of a slow off cutter as it cut him in half, and did well not to just clip the bail on the leg stump.
Very fine ball to finish the over with, and the pressure is really piling onto these Luxembourg batsmen now.
It was another dot, and the only runs coming from that over was a thick edge, which doesn't bode well for Luxembourg. But Belgium now really looking
in the box seat.
Confident, as you said, very much in the box seat. Sorry, Vish, what was that? So 94 for 5 off 15 overs. So 5 overs to go. And we have another change of bowling.
And the Crown in the bowling attack looks like he's going to be a slow bowler. That would be a good change, I think. Tempt the Luxembourgish batsman into going for the big hit and hope the catches stick. Well, that's just chipped it up. It just didn't quite reach the fielder, but it's only 1 run, 2 runs. This is exactly the Belgian plan. Toss the ball up and tempt it. There it is. Go for it. Got hold of that one, but it's all along the ground. It's just 1 run. Quicker one surprised him.
Tries to get after it, but the quicker one just came on a little bit faster than he was expecting, and he played around that.
Big Dog says he's not feeling good at all and he won't make it.
That was well flighted ball, and Luxembourg batsman failed to get hold of it, unfortunately. It was just on the leg side. It's gone through for a bye.
Each everybody, batsman and keeper.
It was a well floated up ball.
Brings Reinhard Heinz to the crease. Big hitter, Reinhard, when he gets on song. He's chipped that up. Oh,
and that's a 6.
For once, it wasn't the commentator's curse. It looked like he only chipped it up into the extra cover area, but it's clear the extra cover boundary. A big six there from
And that
Ryan.
brought a cheer from the Luxembourgish supporters, but we need a few more than just one, unfortunately, if Luxembourg are going to be successful here.
That wing again, is
That score is now 103 for 5 off 16 overs. So we're still 60 plus runs to get with 4 overs to go.
And the temperature here in the commentator's jacuzzi has just dipped down under 30 degrees, so it's a bit chilly, but the sun's come out, so we're in luck.
Would you pass that Dom Perignon, Mark?
Finished the Magnum.
And the caviar, has that gone too?
I'll call for another.
Oh, good man.
Giovanni.
Make that 2. Thank you, Wayne.
Thick outside edge for 4 runs. They will take it any way they can get it. Change of bowling from the Fitzgerald bridge end, so Saber is on to bowl. To come in the end, played across a straight one, trying to get on.
Yes, a big swing and a miss, unfortunately, but there's not a lot else that could be done at this stage. And that brings Mohit Dixit to the stage. So, Dixit to receive his first ball from Saber. And it's a straight ball, and he manages to squish it away for a single. Singles help, but the big hits are what are needed. But he's put the other man on strike.
Yeah, you just get the feeling this is not quite enough, is it, Mikey?
Nope.
Someone has to go crazy in the next over or two, otherwise I think this is just slipping out of the grasp of the Luxembourg team. Oh. Wide ball will help. It looked like Reinhardt was charging down the pitch to get it, and wide ball in the end.
Oh, and that's an edge over the top of the wicketkeeper, right between keeper and first slip, and that's 4 runs.
Thick top edge for 4 runs. Applause from the Luxembourg batting team, but I think they'll know they're pretty lucky on that one. So that dot ball takes the total even further away from the Luxembourg team. So 53 runs now required off 18 balls. 19 balls. But Reinhardt's got a hold of that.
That was a lovely shot.
Yeah, beautiful square cut. Backward point boundary. The ball went like a bullet. Nobody stood a chance. Nice shot.
117 is the score. For 6 after 17 overs. Well, we say it's all with Belgium now, but as we've all watched games like this on the television at home, I'm sure, and something happens and things turn around. So Luxembourg will certainly be hoping that can be the case for them at the moment.
So
it needs a big over. It needs a very big over.
Pretty big ask.
Yes,
Likely they need more than 16 runs on over. So fireworks have to start going off now. He bowled in the first ball of the 18th over. Good length ball.
Yes, well up, full length. Very difficult to hit away.
And all Mohit could do was inside edge it onto his pads for a single.
48 off 70.
Now the full length, but unfortunately he's just pushed it a little bit wide.
It wide, so
he's thinking about this. He's trying to keep it full and he's trying to keep it wide of the batsman, make it as hard as he can for them to hit the boundaries that they need.
That just ticks the score on. So 47 runs required off 17 balls.
That's well bowled.
Reinhard Haynes getting some coaching from the boundary there. His teammates telling him to keep his head down. He's managed to get bat on ball for that, but it's not enough. 46 runs required, 15 balls to go. So the rate's now gone up to 3 runs a ball. And this is getting, I would say, almost entirely out of the reach of the Luxembourg team. He's launched that one up to deep square leg boundary and well caught. And
that's a very fine catch. And Belgium will be very pleased with the performance they're putting in here. It's very tight bowling. It's very strong fielding. And as we saw, was preceded by some very, very excellent batting.
Yeah, and that sees the end of Mohit.
Skipper Sherry Butt will be very pleased with the performance that his men have put in this afternoon. And the next match sees them up against Czechia. That'll be an interesting one.
And that sees William Cope at the crease.
And he was unfortunate there. Just backed away and it just caught his glove, I think, or the top of his bat. And was caught easily by the keeper in the end.
Tried to get out of the way. It was just a bit too quick for him. Got a bit big and just seemed to be jagging into him a bit. He wasn't expecting that.
Leaning back, maybe trying to edge it away, trying to see what he could possibly do.
So that's the end of Reinhard Haynes.
We have some batsmen score, please.
Reinhard, he gets applause from his teammates. 20 runs off 16 balls. He certainly tried to move the score along, but too little, too late, unfortunately, for this Luxembourg team. And once again in this match, that fall of the wicket brings the Cope brothers together. So Marcus Cope, the younger of the two, on strike, and the non-striking end, the non-strikers end, William Cope. Hat-trick ball, a big appeal down leg side. Keeper liked it, bowler liked it, all of the fielders around. Unfortunately for the Belgian team, umpire wasn't interested, and Marcus didn't look in any particular trouble either. So that would have been that was the hat-trick ball, would have been a hat-trick, and unfortunately for the Belgium team, not. So that brings Belgium on to 120 for 8 off Luxembourg, I beg your pardon, to 120 for 8 off 18 overs. That's 45 runs required off the remaining 2 overs. So I'll work the run rate out for you, but I think 22.5 runs and over is going to be a bridge too far, a Fitzgerald bridge too far for this Luxembourg team. Of Saeed, number 10, the opening bowler. Good ball on the money. All William Cope could do was chip it out into mid-wicket, which the bowler fielded
Very
for one
nice
run.
cricket from the Belgian team there. Well bowled, very fine fielding too.
Yeah, I think, barring an act of God now, Mikey, this is all over.
Well, there's an improvised shot from Marcus Cope.
We saw Marcus playing the scoop in the match yesterday evening as well. He's certainly not gonna go down without a fight, but he's got a long way to go.
So he drops that one short, and Marcus Cope is unable to contact with it. Swings out the way.
Just a little message there from bowler Saeed saying, "You're not going to do that to me again."
He's tried to work that one again to the leg side, but he's missed contact with the ball, unfortunately, and it goes through to the keeper. No run, dot.
Yeah, that was a Yorker. So I'm sure you all saw Marcus did well to keep it out. Didn't do quite so well, didn't stay on his feet. So brother William runs down the pitch. A word of advice to Marcus.
The dancing lessons going, bruv, I think is what he probably said to him.
I'm not too sure how he thinks we're going to win this game, but be interesting to know what William said to Marcus. So he's tried to play that scoop 3 times, Mikey. What do you think?
Scoop, that was a bird feed, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Unlucky. Well, he was trying something, but at that pace, you're going to be very, very lucky.
Yes, I just think that you can't keep on playing that shot because you telegraph it, and Saeed is just far too good a bowler to let him keep doing that. So
Swoop.
a swoop or a scoop?
Swoop, not scoop.
It's not a swoop.
No, but the bird feed was swoop. The brain cells aren't what they are. Well, Belgium will be very, very happy with where they are at the moment.
Yeah. Incidentally, Swoop are not sponsoring this particular tournament. However, Redbridge Recruitment, JTC, Tumar, and Talisman Insurance are, and we thank them very much for their kind support. So that was a full bunger on leg stump, which Marcus managed to pull out to mid wicket, and it's all over by the shouting here.
It's all
the
over
Pierre
by the
Werner
shouting,
Oval.
as they say.
Very hard to bat in this situation. You come in, you're on a hiding to nothing. The only thing that's going to work is 6-6, 4-4, and tremendously hard as a batsman to bat in those conditions. Can't help but feel a little bit let down by the opening bats who didn't really score enough runs. He's tried that again to no effect. Did you learn the scoop shot when you were a youngster, Mike?
The old fellas who played when I started playing would have died of heart attacks if you'd have tried to play a shot like that.
So it looks like umpires are signaling themselves to 2 balls to go.
Yeah.
So we're drawing to the end of the Luxembourg innings. 2 balls remaining. And it looks like Luxembourg is going to fall a long way short of that very challenging Belgian target. Oh. Nice shot from William Cope.
Nicely middled, but it's only a single.
So although the betting team is not allowed to bet, we are running a discussion on whether this is going to be a scoop or not from Marcus Cope. What do you think? You can write that in the comments section. Yes, it was.
A slightly unorthodox scoop, about 2 feet outside off stump.
When will
anyway.
he stop playing this shot? Has he not learned this is not going to get us any
And that
runs?
brings the innings to a close. And Belgium will be very happy with a very well-deserved victory. They outplayed Luxembourg in just about most departments there. Well played, Belgium.
Yes, they did, Mike.
And a very fine innings from the skipper, who wrested initiative away from Luxembourg when Luxembourg were on top at about 90 for 5, if you remember, and he completely wrested the initiative away and got the score that Belgium were able to defend. And I'll pass you across now to Mark, who'll give you the details of that innings. Mark.
Thanks very much, Mikey. So just to recap, Luxembourg were chasing the Belgium total of 165 for 8 off their full 20 overs. So they got to 128 for 8. Obviously, they also batted their full 20 overs, as you could see, but they fell 38 runs short of the final target. So James Barker went for 5, Scott Brown for 1, skipper Joost Mies 16, Vikram Vij 3. Tony Whiteman offered a bit of hope in the middle of the innings. He eventually succumbed for 36 off 22 balls, including 6 fours. Suresh also offered a bit of resistance in the middle order, 28 off 28 balls. Reinhard Haynes burned brightly for 16 balls, scoring 20. And then Dixit for 2, Cope 2, William Cope 2, and Marcus Cope not out also at the end at 6, which takes Luxembourg, which took Luxembourg on to 128 for 8, some way short of the Belgium total.
So that's the end of this second game, which will be introducing that for you. So for now, it's a very good afternoon from a very sunny Luxembourg.
Thanks, Richie.